My name is Samad Tolukbay. I'm a journalist, researcher, and descendant of great nomads. My ancestors had wandered through these steppes for centuries, followed their herds in search of the best pastures. The cattle was always their main capital. What are they now? The descendants of the great cattle breeders. The School of Nomads, studying the past, creating present in order to build the future. In today's program, a camel is a noble animal of nomads. Useful properties of Shubat. Modern production of the oldest drink. The nomads had always treated this animal with special respect. Camels are ships of the desert. Wandering from place to place, the steppe lander loaded on them his all things and even a dwelling. He wrapped his children in their skins, covering them from the cold. Probably, therefore, giraffes sang them in their songs. Indeed, this noble animal in the famine saved the whole owl, thanks to its milk, preserving the sacred shanrak. On camels, our grandmothers, being brides, left their father's house and became wives of our grandfathers. And those in turn, riding these mighty animals, defended their land from enemies. Today I want to learn more about these amazing animals and study in detail what their role in modern animal husbandry is. In 120 kilometers from Almaty, near the village of Akshi, camel farm Davlet Biket is located, where I am heading to. Hello, Jandarbek Aga. Hello. How are you? Thank you, fine. My name is Samad. Nice to meet you. I study the culture of nomads. I study our traditional occupations. Today I want to get to know such an occupation as camel breeding, learn how to take care of them, and what are the products of camel breeding. Well, will you show me? Welcome, Samad. Of course, we will. This farm was created by a descendant of the famous Kazakh batyr Beket Mirzagululu Siddiq Dauletov. In the early 90s, he returned to his homeland from Karakalpakstan and moved to the Almaty region. Farmer Siddiq decided to breed them because he grew up among them. Both father and grandfather of Siddiq Dauletov were camel breeders. In 2001, when we started, we had only a few dozen camels. Time passed, we have developed our traditional cattle breeding to the modern level, and today we have 5,000 heads of camels on the farm. Our ancestors sewed their own clothes made out of wool and camel skin, ate meat, and drank milk. In nomadic times, this animal was considered the best vehicle. The camel is not afraid of cold or heat. It can manage without food for 60 days and half a month without water. Nevertheless, such a hardy animal is mostly calm. Camels belong to the family of cloven-hoofed mammals. Their ancestor is a wild camel. This animal is divided into two humped Bactrian. They were driven in the vastness of Central Asia and Mongolia. and single-humped camel that came here from Arab countries. Both these kinds of people have tamed over 5,000 years ago.
Тамаша Самат, дәл түскі ас үстіне түстім.
Samad, you came just in time, right to dinner. Therefore, I propose to feed our camels. Let's start.
Кіріспесі осы, жем-шөбін салып, осыдан бастайық.
Hungry camels will not give milk, so they should be well fed. So let's get started. Is this how to lay out food? Yes, that's right. A camel is an animal not whimsical. Can eat spines and other vegetation, not suitable for other animals. Harvested hay is only part of the food ration. Mandatory thing is the grazing of camels on free pastures. Moreover, at any time of the year. After all, the animal is able to extract stingy vegetation even from the dank earth. According to farmers, a camel which grazes in the steppe has meat tastier and milk more useful. In other words, modern Kazakh livestock breeders keep an important method of nomads, grazing on pastures. And the product is environmentally friendly, because the camel must graze 12 months of the year. Out of 100 kinds of grasses in this area, he eats 95. Make your own conclusions about the quality of milk and meat. The camel is called the main one among domestic animals. After all, he played an important role in the life of the nomads. There are many legends about its origin. One of them says that originally, the god Tengri did not plan to create a camel. But one day, people complaining about the hardships of a nomadic life begged Tengri. They asked to give them a creature that would be strong and fast and hardy. Then the god Tengri decided to take it out of every animal that he had already created, and so to assemble a hardy assistant. So he gave the camel a swan neck, and the hump is like the wings of a bird. The head looked like a sheep's head, and the legs looked like a deer's one. That's why the camel is fast as a horse and strong as an ox. As well as horse meat, camel meat contains very little cholesterol. Earlier, our ancestors used this animal as a transport. In the modern world, where we had cars, the camel did not lose its popularity. Just think how many products can be produced from camel wool, and how many useful foods can be produced from milk.
Соны артып, осындай көлік ретінде пайдаланған болса, енді мына бейбіт заманда бұның жүнінен көптеген өнімдер шығаруға болады.
Our goal is not just to increase the number of cattle, but first of all, to create a whole cluster of camel breeding, to organize an industrial zone.
Тек қана осы малдың соңында жүрмей, елбасы айтқандай, осы түйе шаруашылығының кластерін енді жасап отқан азаматпын, бірақ әлде де заманауи.
Using a variety of the latest technology can produce a variety of different meat and dairy products. Pure milk can be used in cosmetology and pharmaceuticals. According to Sıdık, from camel milk, it is possible to produce yogurt, kefir, cheese, and even desserts. From meat, people cook excellent roasts, as well as many other useful dishes. It turns out that a dairy product from camel's milk is a shubat, and it is also gaining interest in foreign countries. Meanwhile, scientists have proved that this drink has a positive effect on the body in the treatment of pulmonary diseases, gastritis, and stomach ulcers. At the moment, the Dowlet Biket farm supplies this sour milk product to Russia and China. To export for long distances, the company intends to introduce a technology for transferring shubat in powder-like state.
Dostlar, шөл даланың кемелерін жақсылап,
Well, I fed my camels properly. Now it is time for stock watering.
қарауым керек. Одан кейін ары қарай жайылымға, өріске кететін болады. Келіңіздер,
Camels, let's go.
су ішеміз.
At a time, an adult can drink up to 60 liters of water. The organism retains moisture in such a way that the animal is able to do without water for up to 2 weeks. It is interesting that even losing 40% of the liquid, the camel is able not only to survive, but also to bear the load, while other animals die with the loss of 12% of the liquid.
Dostlar, бұл түйелер осындай
Camels of this farm drink only spring water. Apparently, that's why the milk they give is environmentally friendly and very useful.
жоғары болмақ.
Today in Kazakhstan, camel breeding is developing in the west and south of the country, and also in Aktobe, Mangistau, Kızılorda, and Jambul regions.
Қазіргі zaman
We are rich in steppes and deserts, where it is very convenient to breed camels.
сондықтан
Therefore, camel breeding can be called the most important part of agriculture.
ауыл шаруашылығында алар орны өте жоғары. Мысалы,
The average camel lives up to 35-40 years.
көп адамның бұнымен
Many do not want to breed these animals because camels give the first generation only at the age of 4 or 5. A young camel are born every 2 years. That is, development will be slow, but true. You just have to work hard.
ұстағысы келмейді.
Indeed, over 60% of the territory of Kazakhstan are the steppes and deserts, and significant development of camel breeding could have a significant positive impact on the economy of the country. According to the ancient Turkic worldview, the Nomads considered the camel a sacred animal, attributed it to the upper world, and appreciated it. According to mythology, the famous Turkic poet and composer of the world, Korkut, saddled his own camel and looked for the immortality in this world. Korkut composed Kuy and dedicated it to his favorite animal. The title of the Kuy is Jelmay Tuo. By the way, one of the most beautiful places in Kazakhstan, Burabai, is named after this noble animal. According to the legend, the locals trusted their lives to the camel as the owner and guardian of forests, mountains, and lakes. They believed that the camel was sent by the great sky god Tengri. When the enemy was coming closer, it was the white bunk with a loud shout that warned people. Its name was Bura. Out of respect for the camel, the people called him Burabai. The legend says that Bura died defending his land from the invaders. Dying, the sacred animal froze and turned to stone, becoming part of the Blue Mountains, the foot of which is washed by the waves of clear lakes. Since then, this area is named after its ancient savior, Burabai. There are 20 pens on the farm, where animals are kept. There are pens separately for milking. There is also a corral for young camels. I am now going to the milking camels. Here, all of them are milking camels. Yes, we keep them here next to the young camels. How many of them? There are 85 milking camels. So many, more than 80. Yes. And now, they will all be milked. Yes, all 85 at a time. Milking is just about to begin. How much milk does a camel give? 2 liters, sometimes a little bit more. Is this for one time? And how does this process happen? You will see everything now. Milkmaids are coming, and you can try it. Will they show me how to do this? Of course. The girls will show and explain everything. Well, then let's start the process. Let's start. It turns out that 2 milkmaids are milking a camel at the same time, from 2 sides, with 4 hands. At the same time, at first a young camel is allowed to come closer to the mother. After he drank some milk, the process of milking begins. At first, I was afraid that a camel could either kick me or bite me, but I was wrong. They're all very calm. Well, I've milked a 3rd camel. It's very cold, my hands are stiffened with cold, and there are about 70 more ahead. It is necessary to have time to milk all. The daily yield from all households is 3,000 tons. All the milk is transported to the village of Akçe, to a special factory, where it will produce a traditional sour milk drink, shobat. The technology is built in such a way that with the help of modern equipment, it produces an environmentally friendly product without various additives and preservatives. All the milk brought from the farm is the first thing that goes through laboratory research. In this laboratory, the chemical composition of milk is examined. Proteins, fats, carbohydrates, its caloric value. It is noteworthy that milk will differ in its composition in different seasons. The highest rates are in winter. Milk is caloric and fatter. Now, with the help of a special device, I will measure the density of the batch of milk that we brought. The level should exceed the 1 mark on the scale. Let's see. Well, the density level has exceeded 1 on our device, so milk meets the required standards. By the way, all the standards for the seasons are shown here on this table, which is installed in the laboratory. Scientific research has shown that camel's milk and its composition can serve as a substitute for various fruits and herbs. For example, in a camel's milk, the amount of vitamin C is 3 times more and the iron is 10 times more than in the cow's milk. However, this product has a low level of cholesterol and a high percentage of protein. It is easily digested, as well as an excellent probiotic. Friends, the production tour will be given to me by the laboratory assistant of the factory, Zibash. Well, let's get started. Please tell me more how everything works here. What is this capacity? Milk that came from the farm, first of all, gets into this container. From here, we will take the necessary quantity of milk in the following capacity for pasteurization. Originally, all the milk is stored here. How much does it fit here? 3 tons. That is 3,000 liters. Let's go to the next tank. So we pour a certain part of the milk here. Yes, milk comes here on this pipe. Here we will boil it.
Кәдімгі су аққан
Does milk come from here? In this capacity, the milk is boiled at 65 degrees. After, sent to the next container.
Зибаш бұл
Sibash, what kind of an equipment is this? Through this unit, we let pass our pasteurized milk in order to stir up and break lumps and bring everything into a homogeneous mass.
Түйіршіктер бір қалыпты езіліп, бір қалыпқа түсіп,
After that, the process of combining takes place. Is milk here to cool down?
әбден дайын болған сүтіміз суытылады.
Yes.
Yes.
After adding the starter and leave the milk for 9 to 10 hours.
қойылады.
If you want to add a starter, milk should be cooled only to 30 degrees. And within 10 hours, it will turn into the most tasty and most useful shubat.
Міне достар,
Well, we went through almost the entire production chain.
мұнда өздері
At the very end, the finished shubat will be poured into special bottles and sent to consumers.
қараңыздар, өте
See how beautiful. This is a real shubat.
шұбат алса.
Well, I'll help the guys pour the shubat. The bottled shubat should be kept in stock for several hours at a certain temperature, and only then the products go to consumers. By the way, the container for the drink is made here. Here we produce plastic bottles in which we port our shubat.
Яғни
Of course, I will test this device.
жасап көретін болам.
The enterprise employs over 100 people. Produced products are sold not only throughout Kazakhstan, but also exported abroad. Sadiq Aga, in turn, would like that the national animal husbandry would be developed further with the participation of young specialists.
Сондықтан да мен айтар едім, әр нәрсенің берекеті бар. Енді
I would like to wish that in our country, camel, horse, cows, and sheep breeding would be actively developed. In this case, it is necessary to grow and produce your own food in parallel manner,
мына егін шаруашылығымен айналысқан
and then you will be assured of the quality of your product.
өте үлкен септігі тиер еді.
Самат, өзің көрдің.
Samat, today you have worked on the farm since the morning. Fed our camels, watered them with spring water.
Өріске айдап,
After that, you even took part in milking.
цех
Then you witnessed our production process and saw how the milk is pasteurized and a real shubat is being prepared.
міне дайын өнімге дейін жетіп, күтіп,
And here is a ready product, which is created with your participation. Try it for yourself. Treat your relatives.
татуыңызға болады.
Ой, рахмет, аға.
Well, thank you. Yes, I had a wonderful day today. And I realized the breeding of camels, the production of shubat, is not easy work.
Еңбектерім
And I would like to wish that your product, created by the hands of hardworking people, very soon entered the world market. I wish you good luck in your work and good health.
дерт бермес.
I will come to you. Thank you.
Рахмет.
Bye.
Міне достар, бағанадан бері
After such a busy workday, it's time to rest a little.
шөбімді беріп
I'll ride on this handsome. I'll enjoy the landscape.
дайындап үлгердім. Енді бұлардың үстінде ауыл маңын аралап, дем алып
Well, my camel, let's go.
кеттік. Жүр.
When I see such farms, I understand that the most important thing is the love to their business, and then everything will be successful. According to Sadiq Aga, today in Kazakhstan, there are 300,000 heads of camels. And if one wants to offer the product on the world market, you should bring the livestock to 1 million. And I am sure that if things go on at such a pace, then these figures will be satisfactory. After all, livestock breeding has always been an important component of the life of our ancestors. Cattle was the main means of exchange. So in any century, with any new technologies, our primordial occupation, animal husbandry, will develop.